Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to Red Dragon in Battle for Greyport promo cards. These are cards that were for from these three main sets: the base game, Battle for Greyport, first expansion, Pirates, and the newest expansion as of this video, Chaos and Copperforge. Promo cards for the original Red Dragon in games. Which is the tavern style card game where you're playing against, trying to see who can either get someone drunk or take all their coins and gambling aspects. So some people may have bought Battle for Greyport because they love the world of Red Dragon Inc., so they wanted to continue to play them. Or you may have bought, and great, you already own them. These cards are going to be useful to you. Other people bought them because they maybe bought this first and they just want to see what those cards are. So rather than putting these at the end of each one of these videos, I'm just going to combine all three of these to one because I don't think there's enough content from each one to warrant its own video. But then that way they're all kind of combined. So if you are a fan of the original Red Dragon Inc., and you're trying to see whether these are worth picking up, that's what this video is about. So we're going to start with the stuff from the base game for Battle for Greyport. What we're actually going to get is a brand new character. So this is probably one of the biggest set of content here. We'll set up my little stand there. So we're going to get Kronos. So this will get you a new character or a new deck to play as. So some people might decide, hey, I really like this as a character, or I want to have all the characters. So you have to either hunt them down separately, or you'll have to buy a full box of Battle for Greyport. Maybe you can get lucky and find somebody that loves Battle for Greyport but doesn't play the original Red Dragon game, and they can just trade you it, and then maybe vice versa. You buy the Smorgasbord box to get all that content. You can trade them over Roxana, who works for Battle for Greyport. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and look at Kronos here. So he has no special mechanics on his deck. Discard, draw, action, order a drink. Nothing extra special there. Let's take a look at the deck divider you get. Has a little drink icon up there. And we'll zoom in now that we're getting to the smaller cards. Backside, just some information about him. Again, no special deck mechanics. And then we will jump into his decks. We'll do like I do with all the other decks. First, let's look at the back of his deck. We have Kronos, the High Mage. He's a human mage. Little hourglasses there. And then we'll look at the first 6 cards, which are Gambling I'm In. These first bunch of cards are the ones that every deck has. They're kind of like what I call the standard cards. So we have Gambling I'm In. Start of a round of gambling. Each player, including you, must ante or take control of a round of gambling. We get 2 copies of I Raise. Take control of a round of gambling. Each player, including you, must ante again. 2 copies of Winning Hand. Take control of a round of gambling. The next card to take control must be a cheating card. We have Tip the Wench. Pick a player, they pay 1 gold to the inn. The wench thinks you should stop playing with the drinks. Negate is sometimes a card that changes the effects of a drink. This includes the negate, ignore, split a drink, pass a drink to other players, or alter any drink effects. This card can only be affected by the I Don't Think So card. Then the next 2 cards are a slight difference. The 2 copy is a slight difference from everyone else's, but it's called Drinks from the Future, which is just a variation of most players have one that says, Wench, can I order 2 drinks from my friends? You may play this card during order a drink phase of your turn. Order 2 additional drinks for free. Drinks you order may be placed in any player's drink me piles. And then you get a variation of this one. We have We Don't Think So. Negate is sometimes card. We Don't Think So can only be affected by cards that affect I Don't Think So, and We Don't Think So can affect any card that can be affected by I Don't Think So. So essentially this card's name is I Don't Think So. They just have changed it for the artwork. They've done this a few other times. So it's kind of interesting. Alright, then we're going to take a look at his core of his deck. So we're going to get 2 copies of The Future Will Be Ruined unless I do this. So pick another player, they lose 2 fortitude. You're taking 1 for the team, friend. So, I love the artwork on this guy's cards because you get a lot of like time travel, movie references like that. Plus his alternate versions usually have some sort of different stopwatch or not stopwatch, but like hourglass necklace. So his is like a pocket watch instead for this version. We have 2 copies of That's Not What I Meant by Learning from Your Elders. Pick another player, they lose 2 fortitude. Well, I had to send that volley of arrows somewhere. Each other player loses 1 fortitude. I don't recall anyone complaining in the dungeon. See, the party gets a lot better soon. Pick a player, they gain 3 alcohol content, then they draw 3 cards from their character deck, then discard 2 cards from their hand. They may not take any game actions between drawing and discarding. We have Time Warp. After this phase, there's another of the same phase. Once more with feelings. This is a good time travel card. I don't feel like so. I don't know if there's a ton of options like this, but again, I think if you have too many cards like this, that'd be very abusive. Careful. Time travel is dangerous. Pick another player, they lose 3 fortitude. Watch out. Ignoring action sometimes or anytime cards that affect your fortitude. We have 2 copies of Aren't You a Little Young for This, Kronos? I love this little baby eating a card with a clock pacifier. You may play this card when you must ante. Instead of anteing, you leave the round of gambling or ignore a drink. How old is this? It's gone flat. Ignore a drink. Are we stuck in a time loop? Returning action card from your discard pile to your hand. It's getting all timey-wimey in here. This version has a cat clock. Look at that. Same hand as last time. Return up to 2 gambling or cheating cards from your discard pile to your hand. What are the odds? I loan myself gold all the time. You may play this card when you're about to lose gold. Use gold from the inn rather than your own stash. I'm heading back to the future. Ignore action sometimes or anytime cards that affect your fortitude, alcohol content, or gold. You may not use this card to ignore a round of gambling. These dice are perfectly legitimate. Take control round of gambling. Legitimate in the future at any rate. Whoops, you must have fallen through a time rip. You may play this card during another player's drink phase. The player plays an additional drink from their drink me phase. 2 copies of Temporal Comeuppance. You may play this card immediately after you lose a fortitude card from you played by another player. You may not play this card if you reduce that fortitude loss. That player loses 2 fortitude. So what's that up your sleeve? Take control round of gambling. Pick another player and force them to leave the round of gambling. Here, trying age vintage instead. Add 2 alcohol content to a drink. I'll take over. You go get some rest. Gain 1 fortitude and lose 1 alcohol content. Thanks, doppelgang other me. And then the last one is we have How Time Flies. Pick another player, they lose 2 fortitude. So the overall theme of his deck is lots of it is just making other players lose fortitude. He's got a couple, I guess you could say, quote unquote, like time travel-y cards where it lets you like add the extra phase or play something out of order or duplicate something, which are kind of neat, but I wish there was more of a heavier theme on time travel for supposed to be a time mage. Whether it was, my first thought would have been something like Magic the Gathering has like these suspend type cards. You put them out of play, you put tokens on them. After so many tokens are up, then that card's played. That would have been kind of a neat idea. Like, you play these out and then, like, maybe you have to put X number of counters on them or something, and then every turn you remove a time counter, and then you might end up getting to maybe play like 2 or 3 cards on a turn. But if you play a card, maybe it can only be played on action cards instead of any type of card. Might have been interesting, but yeah, it would have been an interesting concept to do. Maybe like, oh, if that comes up and it's not useful, then the card was wasted. Could have been a neat mechanic, or even something like letting you just set a card down on the next turn. You get to play that card automatically. You know, like, as you went, like, oh, I'm grabbing this card from the future, or look at the top card of your deck and stacking your deck every turn. Like, I know the future, but that I could see maybe being more of like a fortune teller type mechanic versus just time travel. But there could have been some interesting other mechanics in the deck other than just occasionally getting to do something early. I feel like it's a solid character. I just wish there was more of a theme, a time travel theme to it. And I feel like when this came out was still fairly early in the games, maybe like probably by like set 4 or 5. I feel like now they're up to set like 9. I feel like if they would have made them now, they would have added some other types of mechanics to them. But that's just my personal thoughts on that. Then the other card we get is one promo drink card called Drog Special Reserve. So this would be shuffle shuffle your discard pile into your character deck, made from only the finest of body parts. Yeah, so it's kind of a cool one to have. It's an extra interesting, different card. Alright, so up next we are going to look at the promos from Battle for Greyport Pirates. This is the first expansion. So there's just 2 drink cards, so nothing too extra special. So this one might be a little bit easier to pass up. But again, if you know someone that plays Battle for Greyport and you're not interested in it, you could always, maybe trade with them. So we have the Crew Brew. Draw a card from your character deck, then order a drink. Place that drink me on any other player's drinking pile. Brew chugging is a time-honored rite of the passage amongst Greyport sailors. So I think this set came out shortly after set 4 because it adds the pirate crew from I think it was set 4. So I think Krumlos actually came out closer to like set 2 or 3, maybe before 4. And then the other promos, we have First Mate's lime juice, Remy's drink, +2, and then discard a card from your hand. So that's why Remy's always so sour. And they have the little pirate symbol on the bottom to show that they're from the pirate set. So yeah, just 2 extra drinks. I always like getting the extra drink cards because then you can make a more unique drink deck. You have some different options versus just always having the same ones or duplicate to the same ones over and over. Alright, so yes, not too much in the pirate set. Then the third set is going to be Battle for Greyport Chaos and Copperforge. So this one actually has a decent amount of more extra stuff to it. So we could get 1 brand new drink here. We have WizGilly's Automatic Sidecar, a drink event. Put this card in front of you. The next time you reveal a chaser, use this card as the chaser instead counts as 2 alcohol content drink, one of WizGilly's side projects. That's kind of like a drink buckled into a little sidecar on a motorbike. I also love this where we get these drinks based off of the characters from the game. We also get a brand new prize, which is also cool. We get prizes based off each character. So we have Wrench. When you win this prize, put it in front of you, then rotate it 90 degrees clockwise. At the start of your turn, rotate it an additional 90 degrees clockwise. When it returns to its original orientation, add it to the prize bank. Then put a card of your choice from your discard pile in your hand. So it's kind of neat. Just gets you an extra card. Just going to take a few turns to work. Yeah, so it's kind of neat. I didn't show that this does have the little gear promo symbol. Then the last one, which might be the reason why people try and pick up Copper Forge for this, is we have a new tavern. We have the Drunken Gearbox. So this works with set 8. You have to have set 8, the pub crawl, to be able to use this deck. So it becomes a little bit trickier, because if you don't have that set, this is unplayable. But it is cool that they're adding extra different taverns, even if it's from a promo from another game. Just because the other taverns is a neat idea, but having, again, ways kind of like the drink cards, and character cards, having ways to swap out and have new content can keep the game fresh and interesting. So the tavern event is each player gains 2 alcohol content and draws 2 cards from their character deck. Players may ignore this effect as though it came from a drink. And on the back just shows the original guide, just so you can shuffle the taverns up if you like. We do get a new deck divider for the Drinking Gearbox. And on the back, we'll have the list of the 6 new drinks. So here's the back of the card. They have their special back, so they separate from the traditional drink deck cards, just to keep them separate for the taverns. So we have Tinker's Screwdriver. Discard 1 card from your hand. Told you to watch your fingers. And then we have Tinker's Screwdriver with a Chaser. We have a Jinging a King. Draw 2 cards from your character deck. From the makers of Inspirational Ale. Then we have Invention Explosion Drink Event. Each player loses 1 fortitude, just straight up. Remember, drinking and inventing don't mix. The Gearbox Gimlet puts the drunken in drunken gearbox. And then finally, the last one is the Convocation Lager. Pay 1 gold to the inn. Winners of the top honors of the annual Copper Forge Convocation. Yes, it's kind of cool. So we get an extra couple new cards there to add in. They always work like regular drinks. But that is what we have for that. So not too terribly much. So again, that was promo cards for the Battle for Greyport sets. Currently the 3 sets that are out as of this video, because they obviously might make more after this. Yes, it's really up to you if you decide you want to pick these up and get these extra cards. Again, like the first one, you get an extra character. The third one, Copper Forge, you get the extra tavern deck, which is kind of neat. That middle one, Pirates, is, highly more skippable unless, again, you're trying to collect every single thing. But that also being said, not everyone's going to be like, ooh, I love Red Dragon, I love all the characters, I want to own every version of the game, because there's, this is the Greyport's the deck builder game, then there's also, like, Tales, and there's some other ones. And I can definitely see people not wanting to just own every single game just because it has its characters, but on the other hand, some people might love it. Hey, I love these characters from that game. Let me pick up the deck building game, lets me get to play as them more, but I get to play them is a different aspect. Alright, so that's it. So check out all the original Red Dragon games to see, those if you want. Check out all the Battle for Greyport games. Hope to see you guys later. Bye.